What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us today. Yet another edition of Throwback Thursday. Jeff, I know you've been enjoying the content as much as I've been enjoying digging through and putting it all up and together.
I'm not gonna lie. I was trepidatious watching this, especially my stuff. I hate watching my stuff, you know that. But it's been interesting to go back and watch it because, as I said, I become less of a dick as the shows go on Talk Wrestling, which is thank God I did because the first show was so bad. But man, you have been like reaching into the vault, man. I almost feel like I want to grab Mickey Mouse on SNL. I'm like, no, protect the content. They didn't sell. So man, such good stuff to watch, and today is no exception, sir.
Yes, thank you once again to Aaron Rift of the NoDQ YouTube channel, James Hebert of the JH95/FTW Productions, Noel Foster from the Simple Man brand, and of course, you, good sir, for the
Yes,
Jeff Meacham Network, for allowing me access to all the content that was previously discussed in private
yes,
amongst all of you guys, because there are limitations about what can and can't be posted, but
yeah. Unfortunately,
especially a big thank you once again to Aaron Rift for allowing me access to the no DQ stuff. That stuff has really helped make the process and the Throwback Thursdays succeed and thrive, I think.
absolutely.
Sit back, relax, everybody, enjoy as we bring to you yet another week of Throwback Thursday content.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Welcome everyone to episode number 6 of Talk Wrestling, brother. No, I'm sorry. I had to do that one time. I got the Hulk Hogan stuff on. I got the Hulk Hogan do-rag behind me. I just felt like doing something different today. Thank you very much for everybody that watched the last episode. We got a lot of hits again, and I appreciate it very much. This show is going to be a little bit different today, but I got a lot of questions left for the last show that I didn't address because so many different people asked the same question over and over again. I got 13 or 14 different questions, something like that, that had the same questions. The people have the same questions, so I'm going to address those today on the show. I'm going to get to all those today, and hopefully if I don't get to yours, I will get to it next time, but let's just hop right into it. All right, a lot of people ask me, they ask us all the time, they ask it almost every week, and I haven't addressed it yet. They wonder if I was ever in the business, because I give great answers to questions asked on my show, although you give answers like a person protecting the business. I was in the business a total of one night. That was when I was the play-by-play announcer for Adrenaline Unleashed back in September of 2005. That was the only time I've ever actually been a part of the business as far as being a contracted talent. I've been a fan of the business since 1990, and I've been doing shows on the internet for the last 5 years now. We started back in 2002 with the original Extreme Mayhem audio show, which ran for a year and a half, almost 2 years. And then we did XMV, Extreme Mayhem Video, for 2 years. And I did Ringside Insanity with my ex for off and on for about a year. And then we evolved into this show by myself. I'm the star now. Woohoo, just me. But thank you very much for asking that. I appreciate the compliment thinking that I had been in the business, but I was in the business a total of one night, and that was after 15 years of being a fan and after 3 years of doing internet wrestling community stuff. So thank you very much for that question. I appreciate it. All right. Well, this one was asked a lot. Will Kane ever don the mask again? I think it's a possibility. I think that Kane maybe has reached his breaking point in TNA. Yeah, Kane's in TNA. Okay, Jeff's not on the ball today. Kane has kind of reached his zenith in WWE. He was world champion for a day. He almost was world champion on SmackDown a few weeks back, but the whole booking situation with Edge and his injury kind of changed all that. I think he may have been champion if Edge had stayed healthy, but we'll never know now. I think that Kane could be the guy to defeat the Great Khali. I think Kane could be the guy to be world champion for a while on SmackDown. But as far as donning the mask, maybe if they have some kind of angle where he gets burned or something, like Khali throws a fireball in his face or something, that could be a definite possibility. But I think that as long as Kane stays healthy and they don't have any weird storylines going on, he won't wear the mask anymore. Just my personal opinion. Here's an interesting question I pulled off the YouTube comment board. Thank you for all of you that are watching the show on YouTube. From Lambert581. He's one of the guys that asked this, but a lot of people ask this question. What NFL Hall of Famer would make a great wrestler? I have two choices. Jack Lambert and Mean Joe Green are the greatest team in NFL history, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I tend to agree with that. Both those guys would be really good. I like to see a guy like Marcus Allen be in wrestling. I like to see Troy Aikman. If he got bulkier, I think that he would be a great wrestler. There's any number of guys that could be in the Hall of Fame. They're in the NFL Hall of Fame that could have been a wrestler. Larry Zonka would have been a great wrestler back in his day. Mike Ditka would have been a hell of a wrestler. He's got a great talking voice. He would have been incredible, in all honesty. John Elway would be a good wrestler if he bulked up a little bit. He has great personality as well. I'm just looking through the list of the Hall of Famers right now. Let's see who else. Let's see. The Fridge would be a good wrestler back when he was I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame or not yet, but he would have been a good wrestler. There's any number of guys that could have been there. Like you mentioned, Jack Lambert. Steve Young would be a great wrestler. So many of the NFL guys have a great personality. They'd be a great wrestler as well. Deion Sanders comes to mind. Deion Sanders was already a 2-sport. I think he'd be a 3-sport athlete. There's a lot of guys. And, of course, the greatest football player that ever lived, Brock Lesnar. He'd be a great wrestler if he ever applied himself and was actually in a WWE for more than a year or two. Brock Lesnar would be incredible if he actually came back, but I don't think he will. Who will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame next year? Well, I'd like to see the British Bulldog get inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think Davey Boy Smith is well past due. I think he's earned it. I'd like to see if they get her back in good graces. Chyna would be a great inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. There's big rumors that Bruno Sammartino is going to be talking with WWE very, very soon. That would be a tremendous asset to the WWE Hall of Fame and give them instant credibility. Bruno has long been outspoken against the Hall of Fame and what it represents, but I think if Bruno were to give in and accept induction, it would be a great thing for WWE and for Bruno. Who else? Let's see. King Kong Bundy would be a great inductee in the Hall of Fame. As far as celebrity inductees, how about Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker? How about, Donald Trump? How about, Who else was a celebrity? How about Lawrence Taylor for his involvement in WrestleMania 11? There's any number of people that can be inducted to the Hall of Fame. But thank you very much to everybody. A lot of people asked that question. I was very surprised. But thank you very much to everybody that answered that question. Asked that question, excuse me. A lot of people want to know what happened with Jeff Hardy. Did he get suspended? According to my number one source, NoDQ.com, yes, he is suspended for taking too many pain pills. He originally was taking a leave after because he got injured in a match with Umaga, I believe. If not Umaga, it was Caden Murdoch. It was one of those two, one of those three. And he hurt himself, and he was taking pain pills to relieve the pain. And apparently, he was taking more than the prescribed dosage, so he got in a little bit of trouble after the Benoit situation. People are really cracking down on pain pills and that kind of thing. So Jeff Hardy is suspended till well past SummerSlam. He's going to miss SummerSlam this year, which is a really big disappointment for his fans and for WWE too. Jeff Hardy could have been a great contender for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam, but it's not going to happen now. They also want to know, will there be a true singles push for either Hardy brother? I think Matt Hardy's going to get his singles push as far as being a U.S. champion, but I don't think you'll see either Hardy brother ever be a world champion. I don't think that'll be in either one of their futures. They're not world championship material, my personal opinion. I think Jeff Hardy had a brief glimpse of hope when he was facing The Undertaker back in 2002 for the Undisputed Championship, but I don't think that was ever a serious consideration for him to be the world champion or WWE champion. So I don't think they'll ever see either Hardy as a world champion. As a U.S. Intercontinental champion, absolutely. Somebody asked, a lot of people asked, will Goldberg ever return to wrestling? I kind of addressed Goldberg on the last show, but I'll go ahead and address it again. I don't see Goldberg returning to WWE anytime soon. That goes without saying. I don't think that he was very happy in WWE for the year he was there. I think, if anything, he'll come to TNA. TNA has a good relationship with Spike TV, who has a good relationship with Goldberg. So I think that if we do see Goldberg in wrestling ever again, it's going to be with TNA, for sure, if he does come back. There's also talks he could be in the Ultimate Fighting World. I don't think Goldberg can handle the Ultimate Fighting World, in all honesty. I think Goldberg would be not a good fit for Ultimate Fighting. If he does come back to, competition sports, I think it'll be professional wrestling, which isn't really a competition per se, but it'll be with TNA, if anything. Will WWE ever go back to the Attitude Era? That's what USA is pushing for, that's for sure. I think the USA Network would love to see the Attitude Era come back, but in all honesty, do you think it's going to happen? No, I don't. I don't think that it needs to happen. I think WWE's pushing in the right direction without reverting back to the Attitude Era. I think you might see guys from the Attitude Era like Chris Jericho return, but I don't think you'll see a full-blown back to the Attitude Era with DX running roughshod and with, Vince versus a wrestler and this and that. I don't think you'll see a full-blown return to the Attitude Era. I think you'll see elements of the Attitude Era, like Chris Jericho coming back, like certain storylines making a comeback. This paternity suit thing is very much reminiscent of the Attitude Era, for sure. So I think that's a key to it, but I don't think we'll see a full-blown return to the Attitude Era, no. Alright, this one is from people asking about Shelton Benjamin and whether or not he'll get a singles push. I think Shelton's getting a push right now as far as being with the world's greatest tag team. Shelton had his chance to be a single star for a long time. He was a single star for about 2.5, 3 years on his own without Charlie. I think they want to keep him and Charlie together. I think they want to keep Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin as the world's greatest tag team and have them make a run of the tag team championships. If Caden Murdoch ever loses the championships, the world's greatest tag team will be the number one contenders for sure. I think that it'll be a good fit for them, and I think that it just needs. But I'll get to that in a second. I think that Shelton Benjamin's going to do fine as the world's greatest tag team member, not on his own for a while. Everybody wants to know my opinion on Pac-Man Jones coming to TNA. I think it's sad that a great athlete like Pac-Man got himself suspended from the NFL for a year for his personal conduct off the field, but I think it'll be beneficial to TNA to have him around for a year. I think that Pac-Man is going to be a great asset to TNA. I think he'll bring a lot of mainstream publicity to the company that they don't have, and him being there will be beneficial to TNA. Will he stick around longer than a year? Probably not. He knows where his bread is buttered. That's professional football, the NFL. So I think once his suspension is over, he'll be more than happy to jump right back onto the playing field. I don't think you'll see him in TNA for more than a year. All right, a lot of people want to know my opinion on the promotion Ring of Honor. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to see too much of Ring of Honor. I haven't been able to watch their tapes or check out their stuff on YouTube yet, but I will be in the near future. So, as far as their competitors, I love Bryan Danielson. He's a great athlete. He could be the next NWA World Champion. I'm going to talk about that in a little while. I think the guys like Roderick Strong are great. Jack Evans, Pac. I think he's with Ring of Honor. I'm pretty sure he is. Not X-Pac, but Pac, different guy. El Generico's a great wrestler. Super Dragon's good. You've got guys like, used to be with Ring of Honor, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Austin Aries. I think he's back with them now. Homicide's with them. They're great. It's a great promotion, and they do a lot for the indie circuit. I think that with the right amount of exposure, they could be a potential threat as well to WWE, not just TNA. If anybody wants to send me Ring of Honor tapes to watch, contact me through MySpace or email and let me know. I'd love to watch some of their stuff. Alright, this one comes mainly from the Pennsylvania sensation himself, Greg Cherry, but a lot of people ask this as well. There's a rumor that TNA will be phasing out the X Division title in the near future. Would that be their final nail in the coffin, considering that fans originally flocked to TNA because of the X Division? Yes, X Division being phased out is a bad idea. You've got guys like Jay Lethal, you've got guys like Sanjay Dutt, you got guys like, Austin Aries, who's supposed to be coming back, you've got guys, like that are there because of the X Division Championship, and I think if they phase it out, they'll just have the World Championship, which will be for the main event guys, and the Tag Team Championship. I think that the X Division is a great, not only a mid-card championship, but also a great showcase for particular athletes, the guys that can do pretty much anything in the ring. So the X Division Championship being phased out would be nothing short of a disaster. It'd be a terrible thing for TNA, and if they do it, they're nuts. A lot of people want to know if The Rock is ever going to return to WWE. I really don't think so. I think The Rock is just having a great time in Hollywood. He's having fun making his movies and making all kinds of money. I don't think we'll see him in WWE anytime soon. I think he's going to continue with his movie career and, making, how many millions of dollars a picture. The Great Iron Gang was a great movie he was just in. Doom was actually pretty good considering what it is. Walking Tall was good. The Rundown I thought was pretty good. Of course, The Scorpion King and The Mummy Returns were both good. I think The Rock has the potential to be a big movie star. Be Cool was pretty good. It was pretty damn funny, if I do say so myself. The Rock has a lucrative movie career ahead of him, and I don't think that he's going to endanger that by going back to WWE and performing full time. Will he make a guest appearance every once in a while? Maybe. I mean, we saw him leading it to WrestleMania in the Battle of the Billionaires when he appeared by videotape, and we'll see him on. We'll see him in like Hall of Fame videos, or we'll see him in. He could be the next inductee in the Hall of Fame. We mentioned the Hall of Fame earlier. I'd like to see The Rock in the Hall of Fame. That'd be cool too. So who knows? But I highly doubt you'll see The Rock in the ring anytime soon. Thank you very much once again to everybody that watched the show today. Wow, okay. Jeff needs a nap, I think. Thank you everybody that watched this show today. MySpace.com/Jeff Meacham and the blog for the next show. You can also check us out on YouTube, username NoDQ&AV. You can also check us out on NoDQ.com. And I also want to mention a site called theunratedwebsite.com. That's where we're also being featured. A guy on MySpace, The Unrated Superstar, I believe is his name. Let me just double check that real quick. The Unrated Superstar, I believe is his name. He gave me my own page on that website, theunratedwebsite.com. So thank you very much to you, and give me a chance to showcase on that website as well. Send the questions into jdmeach1@yahoo.com or tw@nodq.com, and we will see you for episode number 7. I can't believe we're number 7 already coming up. Wow. Talk Wrestling. Bye-bye for now.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6 of A Hardy Conversation. I am Sean Hardy.
And I'm Chris Hardy.
And we've got a lot of stuff to go over today. Hopefully not as much as we've had the last couple weeks. I really do want to try to avoid going to 3 parts this time, Chris. So let's try to keep our rants about CM Punk to a minimal if you go into any of them.
And your rants about Michelle McCool and John Cena.
Whatever.
Can't see me. I'm untouchable.
I can see you. You're sitting right next to me. You're not invisible. Look.
I said untouchable, not invisible.
I just touched you.
Right.
Anyways, last past week on wrestling television, there wasn't anything too dramatic.
Except for live in San Diego, California, the 619. Edge had an injury. He's out till, some people say January, some people say March. But basically he's out for a long time. We're going to see where the tag titles go, but we have a question about that, so we'll get that in a few minutes.
Yes. Over on TNA Impact, the main event Mafia dominated the show once again. We did have Tara teaming up with Awesome Calm to take on the Beautiful People. And just as we predicted, Tara was wearing a tank top with a spider in the middle of it that said Tara Rising. So that's obviously the angle they're going with her, just as you heard it here first on A Hardy Conversation.
Correct.
SmackDown last week was okay. There were a couple really funny spots on the show. I enjoyed the Crime Time versus the Hart Dynasty match, although I thought it was a little sad to make the Hart Dynasty lose in their first match on SmackDown. I like Crime Time too, but I think it would have made a much bigger impact for the Hart Dynasty had they gotten the win.
And we also had John Morrison and Teddy Long. Classic Michael Jackson songs. It was hilarious.
They did do a nice little tribute. I didn't think it was as funny as some people did, but it was still a nice little tribute nonetheless.
And the main event was the Unified Tag Team Champions with Punk and Jeff Hardy. And if I had an Emmy and an Oscar, I'd give it to you, Jeff Hardy, because that was a classic Emmy performance you put on. I mean, the eye hurting, and then you're like, I'm all better now. You just got punked again by Jeff Hardy. It was classic.
Same thing that CM Punk has been doing to Jeff for like 2 weeks, though.
But it was classic. Jeff did it way better. Punk could not act his way out of a paper bag.
But Punk could wrestle his way out, which is something Jeff couldn't do.
No, he could. He'd do a swanton out of the bag.
Raw this past week had special guest host, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I kind of got over it after his initial promo. I was waiting to see Virgil come to ringside with them. I thought that would have been freaking classic. One night only, in-ring return of Virgil to be Ted DiBiase's man whore bitch at ringside. On the show, nothing dramatic happened. Cody Rhodes versus Mark Henry, WTF.
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase versus Randy was a very good match that should have been the main event.
Yeah.
But it went to Triple H versus John Cena, part 543, which ended in a double disqualification.
which makes the match at Night of Champions a triple threat, which I do believe is a rematch from WrestleMania 24, if I'm not mistaken.
It was where I was at, live in Orlando, Florida.
So, wrestling, honestly, has been on a bit of a downslope for at least me lately.
It's been okay.
Even with the roster trades, they need to do something to rejuvenate the shows.
Yeah.
Evan Bourne versus Kofi Kingston, look for that to probably be the Night of Champions match, because that match was good, and I bet you they'll even pull out more stops at the pay-per-view.
Well, that might be a triple threat as well, with the Big Slow, attacking both of them, saying, I'm the dominant 500-pound behemoth. I'm going to take both you two down. He's done that with Ray. He's done that with basically every little guy in the company.
This is very true. Something we don't normally talk about, I just want to throw a quick, verbal jab in there today. This coming Saturday is going to be UFC 100 live on pay-per-view. Former WWE champion Brock Lesnar is going to be facing Frank Mir to become the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. If you're going to sit here and babble about John Cena and Jeff Hardy, at least you could do is show some respect when I'm talking, okay?
It's Brock Lesnar. Come on.
Brock
he left
Lesnar,
the company to go play for the Minnesota Vikings. He sucked there. He went to go play for MMA. He sucked there. So I'm trying the last thing, UFC.
UFC is MMA.
I know, but he tried.
And he's 3-1 in his MMA record, which is pretty good for an upstart, okay? Look for Brock to become the champion this weekend, beating Frank Mir. He would have beat Frank Mir in his first fight had the rep not pulled him off of Mir for some illegal hits. Also on the card, Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping. The two Ultimate Fighter coaches are going to go head-to-head. I want to see Michael Bisping get his ass handed to him. He's just a royal douche on the show, and he deserves everything Henderson's going to give to him. The other big fight on the card is GSP George St. Pierre versus Diego Alves. GSP is going to knock that fool out too. Back to wrestling though, which I know, thank you for being a good boy and being patient. Back to wrestling, what else have you got to say?
Nothing much. Tonight, as we're taping on Thursday, we have 3 shows. We have TNA, Superstars, and ECW. So it's a wrestling day today. Take advantage of it. Watch 4 hours of wrestling. It's going to be great today. Just sit by, get something to eat, get something to drink, because it is freaking hot. So relax.
Make you a pitcher of Kool-Aid, some Lipton iced tea, some sun tea. Nothing goes better on a hot day than ice cream, Kool-Aid, and iced tea.
And a beautiful fiancé to hold.
Let's get to some questions. What do you say?
Right on.
All right, we're going to go to Facebook first of all. Yes, the Hardy Guys are now on Facebook. Facebook.com/TheHardyGuys. You can add us on Facebook. Our good buddy K Spence wants to know, who do we think needs to feud with who, for how long, and over what belts?
That's a long question, K Spence. And first of all, K Spence, I do want to wish you good luck in your LBWA match coming up next month. You're going to face some guy in an orange suit. I don't know who he is. I forgot his name. But good luck in that match.
Yes. We're going to do this into 2 parts, I think. We're going to do first Raw for the belts, and then we'll go to SmackDown/ECW.
Yeah.
On Raw, Randy Orton is obviously the champion right now. I would like to see him feud with... It's a very interesting one. I'd like to see him feud with...
MVP.
Yeah, MVP would be good, or Evan Bourne. I know they're probably going to give Evan Bourne a push towards the U.S. title right now.
Yeah.
But I think Bourne versus Orton could be a pretty sick match.
Yes.
For the U.S. title, just kind of answered that one. Yeah, I'd like to see Bourne versus Kofi a little bit more. I think that's a really good match.
Yeah, that could be a long storyline because Kofi and Boy are very good wrestlers, so I know it could be a best of 7 series or something like that, going back to the Booker T. I forget his opponent for the U.S. title.
Chris Benoit.
I didn't want to say his name on live television, but
why? We're not under Vince McMahon's cease and desist. You can't mention him order. Chris Benoit still exists in my mindset. I know he's dead, but we can still say his name.
Yeah.
For the Divas title, I would like to see Mickey, who's already feuding with Maurice, and then I'd like to maybe see a Beth Phoenix Maurice or Beth Phoenix Mickey feud, because those two women just need championship gold around their waist. They shouldn't be jobbing to a supermodel, basically.
Yeah. Especially Mickey James. She's one of the best wrestlers out there. She's an amazing wrestler.
Also, I'll go to ECW real quickly. ECW champion right now is Tommy Dreamer. And I would like to see Tommy Dreamer feud with Shelton Benjamin, William Regal, or Paul Burchill. In that order.
I agree with you on Shelton. Shelton deserves the ECW championship. I also think that Zack Ryder, just playing. I think Shelton is the most underrated guy who has not been a world champion.
This is true. I think Shelton actually deserves the World Heavyweight or WWE title.
Yes.
But for right now, I'll settle with him getting the ECW title.
Yeah. And maybe even, I would say, we'll get to that in a minute, but I think move Christian. He should have moved in the draft. He should have kept Mark Henry on ECW and moved Christian somewhere, but...
I think the reason they wanted to move Mark Henry was so that they could push him as a babyface, because he's been heel pretty much ever since he came back.
Yeah.
With the braids. And as long as he's had braids, he's basically been a heel.
Yeah.
So it's time to push him as a babyface, and what better way to make that impact than to have him go against Randy? It virtually makes anybody a babyface anyway, since Randy's the dominant heel on Raw.
Yeah.
Over on SmackDown, your World Heavyweight Champion is CM Punk. I would like to see him feud with... He's already feuding with Jeff, so I'm not going to say Jeff. I'd like to see him feud with Matt. Once Matt comes back from his injury, assuming Punk is still champion, I'd like to see Matt and Punk feud.
That would be a good one.
Intercontinental title, Rey Mysterio. I'd like to see Rey feud with either D.H. Smith or Tyson Kidd from the Hart Dynasty.
Interesting.
I think their styles are such that they'd complement each other beautifully, with Rey being the high flyer and both those guys being the technician.
Yeah.
And then you've always got the wild card of Natalya, and whichever one isn't fighting Mysterio at ringside, can Rey overcome those odds?
Yeah.
They're all pretty much the same size, so it's not like Rey Mysterio versus Big Show, which we've seen 500 times.
Yeah.
And for the women's title, I'd like to see Michelle McCool feud with anybody that can beat her for the strap.
Seriously. Anybody.
I'm not going to get back into my rant on her. I'd like to see her...
Santina, come back and beat her, please.
No. No Santina. He's not even a real woman.
Marvina. Whatever.
Harvina,
sorry.
Lose it back to Melina,
yes.
Honestly, because she's the only woman on SmackDown now that really
wrestles. You just mentioned her a second ago, Natalya. Have the tag team titles around the Hart Dynasty and have the women's title on Natalya and have Randy be champion. I mean, there's your whole, legacy Hart Dynasty foundation right there, where both units are running both shows.
It's actually not a bad idea, and I don't think that the whole tag women's title thing has been under the same umbrella since
the Hart
Extreme.
Yes, Team Extreme and Lita, baby.
So thank you, K. Spence, for your question. That was a really good one. Over on MySpace, Shannon Hardy, a.k.a. Jeff's Girl, says, "Hey, Chris Hardy, if you were the WWE Commissioner / General Manager, what would you do?"
First of all, I love that job. But with the 15 trade, I would have mixed it up, just like I said before. I would move Christian to SmackDown. So you'd have Edge, Christian, Matt, and Jeff all on SmackDown, plus Rey. You'd have a great show. You could have Christian and Jeff feuding with Matt and Edge before Matt and Edge got injured, but you'd have a nice flip-flop of the TLC era back in about a decade ago. So I'd like to see that happen. And I'll give it to new guys. We've said this before. Give MVP, Evan Bourne, Kofi Kingston the world title. Give new people the belt. Even the Miz. John Morrison, the Miz. Give new people the belt. Matt Hardy. I mean, we can go on and on how, new people need to get the belt. Bring new people. I like ECW with all the new talent exchange, how they're bringing new people in, new heels, new faces, whatever. So, I would do that. Just mix it up a little bit more and give new people the belt.
Okay. Punk Sucks asks, hey Sean, what would you like to see happen to the Divas title and the women's title? Unify them or keep them separate? I would rather unify them and just have one women's title, the women's championship belt back, and have it defended on all three brands, just like when we originally unified titles back in like 2002.
Yep.
That's what I would prefer to see done. I think it would be dumb to do it right now, though, because the Divas title is still pretty much in its infancy as a championship. Keep it around for a couple more years. Maybe unify the two titles at WrestleMania 30. That way you've got something special to look forward to. Give the Divas title a chance to get a little bit of heritage and lineage to it. Give it about a 5-year run.
Yeah.
Women's title already goes back to like 1953 with the fabulous Moolah. Stat Boy double-check that year for me. But yeah, WrestleMania 30, have the two belts get unified, one championship belt. That's what I would like to see. Team Ego asks, hey Hardy guys, what do you think they will do with Edge and the tag team titles? Who will get them? Obviously, they're going to have to strip the belts off of Edge, or they can let Jericho pick a new partner.
Yeah. They did this a long time ago when Lance Storm and Chief Morley, a.k.a. Val Venus, basically handed him the belt and they became the tag team champions when Christian got injured. So either Christian will pick Jericho will pick a new tag team partner, a big heel, or you said before, in comments that Jeff Hardy and CM Punk will become tag team champions. Please, God, no. Even though I'd love to see Jeff with another tag team belt, isn't that with CM Punk, please? I mean,
I think it would be funny if they let Jericho pick a partner and he picks Christian. Jericho and Christian were tag champs back in the days before Christian's departure.
Correct.
Then again, you've also got the Hart Dynasty, you've got Crime Time, you've got Legacy, and you've got CM Punk and Jeff. Just do a fatal four-way between all four of those teams.
Well, let's see what happens. The next time Edge will be on SmackDown will be July 10th when they tape SmackDown. It'll air on July 14th. So, because they're overseas right now, so they still have some time to see what they're going to do with the tag team title situation.
Yep. Super Mario, I Love Scarlet Pain, a loyal viewer. Do you think that Tiffany should be replaced on ECW, and who would you like to see as the new GM? Yes, please God, replace her. And I would like to see Gregory Helms as your new general manager.
It would be nice, but, I mean, he's bringing back the Hurricane gimmick. So I want to see him do that, or he could do a double partner where he is also GM.
That's
and
what
be
I'm
the
thinking.
Hurricane.
Have Gregory Helms be your commissioner and the Hurricane on the roster as active competition.
Then give the Hurricane the ECW Championship.
And then you've got this whole backstage angle about how Gregory Helms is putting over the Hurricane because he truly is the Hurricane. Gregory Helms would ask for proof. And we'd go through this whole Mr. America angle that we did a few years back where everybody knew that it was Hogan, but nobody could prove it was Hogan.
Exactly.
So that's it for the questions. I have one other thing that I need to address. On YouTube, user Avenue730 writes, okay, y'all suck. Get a like, RKO, whatever your name is. You're gay because you wish you can have Undertaker dick in your mouth. And okay, yes, John sucks a little, but you need to get off of Randy Orton dick and stop sucking it, alright? You're just mad because Randy don't want you, alright? All I have to say to you, Avenue 730, is it's called spell check. It comes for free on your computer.
Seriously.
Use it the next time you want to submit us an insult like that, and then you'll be taken seriously.
Yeah. Stop riding the short bus to school, okay?
Yeah, I brush you off my shoulder, Avenue 730. Until next time, on episode 7, I'm Sean.
And I'm Chris.
And we kept it to 2 parts.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Stand back! No DQ&A is coming through. That's right. Welcome everyone to No DQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ.com, Aaron Rift, and let's get right down to your questions. What was the highest rated WCW segment ever? Now when you say highest rated segment, I believe you were talking about ratings. Am I right? As far as the highest rated segment, off the top of my head, I believe it was Hulk Hogan versus Goldberg at the Georgia Dome on Nitro. Also, I think Ric Flair's return was among the highest rated segments. September 1998 when he came out and said, "Fire me! I'm already fired!" You know, that whole deal. And then I remember the DDP and Goldberg match from Halloween Havoc that they showed on Nitro the next night. I remember that doing a really big number as well. So those three off the top of my head, did really big numbers from what I remember. All right, let's see what we have here. With rumors that Samoa Joe is considering going to WWE, how do you think he will do in WWE? Well, here's the thing. If WWE plays their cards right with Samoa Joe, I think he could be a huge star for WWE. If CM Punk is any indication, Joe has the potential to be a major star. What I'd love to see them do is maybe bring him in as like CM Punk's bodyguard and just let him be like the ultimate badass. Like CM Punk is there talking smack and Joe's just there with that stern look on his face. And, when CM Punk needs the dirty work done, Joe gets in there and just destroys people. I think that would be great. And then eventually they could do a whole break off with the two of them and have them feud, kind of like Shawn Michaels and Diesel back in the mid-90s. As long as they do not have him come in and be a comedy figure or turn Joe into like a whiny bitch like he was in TNA, whining and crying about everything. I think Joe will do really well, and hopefully he gets the shot. With Steve Austin, publicly giving Joe the big, endorsement, I think it's only a matter of time before we see Samoa Joe in a WWE ring. If you could have one person win the Bound for Glory series, who would it be and why? Well, I would have Crimson win because he's the guy they've been pushing really hard and he's undefeated, and if anybody else wins, then TNA has completely lost their minds. But, I'm not going to put it past them to do some kind of ridiculous swerve and have somebody win who's, maybe have Joe win in like the last month or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, I think Crimson's going to win. That seems pretty obvious at this point. Okay, do you think the TNA has played out the stable storyline? Since they have had Immortal, Team Canada, Main Event Mafia, and Christian's Coalition, and it seems that they rarely have a time period without one stable. Well, you're exactly right on that. It is played out. It's like a Vince Russo fetish. He has to have a faction or stable. If you go back to 1997, you have the Boricuas and DOA and the Nation of Domination, and then DX, and then the Corporation, and then the Corporate Ministry, and then the Nation of People You Ought to Respect. And then the McMahon-Helmsley regime, and then in WCW you had the New Blood, the Millionaires Club, the Filthy Animals, and so on and so forth. Team Canada and WCW. These were all Vince Russo. He loves stables and factions. Yeah, it would be nice for a break, maybe like 1 month without a stable. But you gotta talk to Vince Russo about that one. I'm not running TNA, so there you go. Hey Aaron, I thought it was stupid to have Daniel Bryan job to Wade Barrett at SummerSlam, being as he is going to be the future world champion and should be built up, not buried, unless they're going to have him lose the briefcase or lose at Mania. Your thoughts? Okay, WWE always seems to does this where they have the Money in the Bank winner doing jobs on TV. It happens with most of them. So you should actually be happy. If Daniel Bryan is doing a lot of jobs, that probably means he's going to get the title at some point. So I would not worry about it too much if you're a Daniel Bryan fan. That's actually a good sign if he's losing a lot of matches on TV. Is the WWE piping in all the boos on John Cena? It looks like he still has an arena full of followers, but all you hear is boos. No, they are not piping in boos. I was at SummerSlam. I can tell you firsthand, they are not piping in boos for John Cena, okay? If Edge retired as a heel, do you think the reaction from the fans would have been different? No, because I think most fans know that it's entertainment, and I hope they do. And if Edge retired as a heel, I think people would still, give him a standing ovation when he come out. I think the fans respect most of the wrestlers. I was talking to like an 11-year-old fan, oddly enough, at SummerSlam, and he said that, he doesn't like John Cena, but he respects John Cena. This is kind of funny because he was 11 years old. And he's actually smarter than most adult fans, but he said, I respect all the wrestlers. I don't know who to cheer or boo sometimes, but, I do respect all of them for what they do. So I think that's how most fans see it. And yeah, that's the answer right there. All right, let's see. Any more today? All right, we'll stop it at that. Thanks everyone for watching NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. Subscribe to the channel, YouTube.com/NoDQCAW, and you can submit questions at formspring.me/AaronRift. I actually have about 400 questions in my inbox to get through, so like I said on another video, I'm going to try to do 1 a day, maybe 2 a day. We'll see what happens there. But thank you very much for checking out the show, and we'll see you next time for NoDQ&A.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 6 of the Renegade of Wrestling. I am your host, JJ Williams, here live at the Honda Center for Monday Night Raw. Here today on the Renegade, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who is the most overrated and underrated wrestlers both in WWE and TNA. First off, over in TNA, since that's the competition, we're here on the WWE home field, we'll come to that last. Over in TNA right now, gotta say, the most overrated person is Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, as much as I love the guy, he's a druggie, he's getting his second world title run, he's about to go to jail. Bad move for the company. I'm going to get a little bit more into my thoughts on that this Thursday on Dads of Wrestling. But underrated over in TNA, AJ Styles. A lot of people are going to say, JJ, why do you consider AJ Styles underrated? I'm going to tell you why I consider him underrated. Every time a WWE superstar former comes into the company, he becomes their bitch. AJ Styles was Christian's bitch. He was Kurt Angle's bitch. He was Fortune's bitch. Playing second fiddle. He became a mini Ric Flair. AJ Styles has always been the person that TNA is supposed to be built upon, and he's always played a backseat to whoever the current ex-WWE superstar is to come onto the show. Over in WWE, overrated, obviously. John Cena is very overrated. Sheamus, I think, is becoming very overrated. Underrated, guys like William Regal. Guys that have been wrestling for the company for years and still have not got a main event push. I've been walking around here, found a few random fans that I'm going to bring in on this special edition live at the Honda Center. We're going to ask them who they think are over and underrated. First off, over here, Miss Sandy Stars. Hello, darling.
Hey, JJ.
Who do you think is the most underrated and overrated people in both WWE and TNA right now?
TNA, it's this obvious. Jeff Jarrett.
Why do you think?
Okay, I say Jeff Jarrett because, okay, I understand you co-hosted your company, and okay, I understand that, okay, you could be at main event at some point in your career in TNA. But when it comes down to like having that whole storyline with like Karen Angle, obviously now it's Karen Jarrett, and Kurt Angle, and just having that whole storyline with their custody hearing, it's like, okay, you're being jammed down our throats with Karen Angle. I mean, like, seriously, like, it's just basically making you overrated. You're just making yourself too high up in your own company, when there's other people that, I agree with you, JJ, that AJ Styles is very underrated. He's very underrated because it's true. He is everybody's bitch. No disrespect, I'm a big AJ Styles fan myself. You know, and when it comes down to WWE overrated, yes, obviously, it's John Cena. Like, any smart wrestling fan would agree that John Cena is really overrated. As for underrated, I would say Christian, because Christian, he's been an ECW champion. I mean, people would count that as a world champion, but then there's other people that won't count that as a world championship. So I mean, he's been the whole thing with Edge and Christian. You know, when he went up to TNA, he got his main event push. He became TNA World Champion. And, you know, just to see him, back in WWE, not even getting a main event push, not even being, exactly like a good contender for either the World or the WWE Championship. I don't like that. That's very underrated. And, those are big stuff.
Thank you very much, Sam. Next person I'm going to bring in right now needs no introduction. Every SoCal wrestling fan knows who this man is. I'm going to bring in the one, the only, the leader of the Neurotic clan, Neurotico himself. Yeah!
Thank you, clan. JJ, for having me.
Thank you. Neurotico, same question. Who do you feel are the most overrated and underrated wrestlers currently on the WWE and TNA rosters?
As far as TNA goes, I went after the review. Jeff Hardy is really overrated. We all have animosity, his drug use and whatnot. He does put in a lot of work, but at the end of the day, Jeff Hardy takes up a lot of TV time, and I'm not feeling the Divas title. I hope he doesn't become champion again. Enough said. Thanks.
Underrated for TNA.
Underrated for TNA, I'd have to say, can I choose a tag team?
Sure.
Beer Money.
Really? Why do you think that Beer Money is underrated?
I feel that they get what they deserve as far as TV time, but TNA gives up on talent a lot. Just like they gave up on Samoa Joe, and they just didn't build.
I agree with you. What about Generation B and Machine Guns?
Great wrestlers, I just don't think they have the personality to get themselves over.
Okay. And over in WWE, who do you feel are the most overrated and underrated talent?
Sandy, you were right on the money. John Cena is the most overrated superstar on the roster right now.
And this isn't a personal attack on John Cena. We understand he's supposed to be the face of the company, but there has to be a time when you step back and let other people get that spot.
Right. Vince is a smart businessman. Everyone's going to complain he hides what it should be about. It should be about wrestling, but Vince knows what's good for business. He keeps on making money with John Cena, therefore we're going to see him there for a long time. But, he needs to also please the 18 to 34 male demographic. It takes no genius to figure that out. If he can somehow figure a way to keep making the money from Cena and keep us happy, keep the wrestling fans happy, that'd be the mark of a smart businessman. Cena, very weak in his promos, weaker as a wrestler.
See, but that always wasn't the case, though. I mean, you go back to when he was freestyling, he was strong in his promos.
Because he hit his weaknesses and highlighted his strengths. But at the end of the day, Cena he got over on a fluke. He got really lucky, was there at the right time.
Yeah.
I'm also going to agree with Sandy. Christian is one of the most underrated. I think he has heat for using TNA as a way to up his ante and get back into WWE at the main event level. And WWE still has heat on him. He's in the doghouse. He's going to be in the doghouse.
Well, it seems like they do that with a lot of TNA talent. I mean, Gail Kim hasn't gotten a steady push since she returned back from TNA, and it seems like week after week they're starting to make her look more like an Asian prostitute than a serious
and she's
contender
one of the best
female
performers that WWE has. And Vince himself says that he's going to go out of his way to push Kelly. And come on. But once again, he loves his millions, and he's going to keep on doing what he has to do to make WWE keep it growing around the world and keep on making money, keep on selling merchandise. But as far as ticket sales go, he's suffering in that area, and that's because the product sucks. And there you go, Vince. Nothing against you, but yeah, you got to make us happy. Wrestling fans, wrestling is where it's at. World Wrestling, then entertainment.
Veronica, thank you very much. That's all I've got for this week's episode. I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, and I'll see you next week.
now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul. It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Elimination Chamber retrospective. All WrestleMania-themed retros by Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. The entirety of the NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play series. Past and upcoming Jeff Meacham Network watch-along coverage. FTW Productions watch party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news. ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 7. Our favorite WrestleMania matches. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Hello again! I'm back! Another show, but this one's a little bit special. Officially, this is episode 6 of Stat Boy Rants, and it's the Night of Champions prediction show. I'm not going to take any of your comments today. I'm not going to, go into the mailbag or whatever. It's just strict predictions, strict wrestling, okay? And we've got 6 title matches, because every title's on the line, and a special attraction grudge, I'm going to kick your ass, you're going to kick my ass match. That's no DQ. So we'll start at the top and work our way down, title-wise, and then we'll talk about the big pipe bombs. Alberto Del Rio defends against John Cena. Okay, next match. No, I'm just kidding. Del Rio's had the belt for 34 days as of this taping, which is the night before, so figure out the math. If by some miracle Cena does win, this will be his 10th WWE Championship, his 12th big title, 10 plus 2 overall. Do I want to see Cena win the belt? No. Give Del Rio a little run with it. Give him till maybe Survivor Series. I want to see a clean match. I want to see back and forth. I don't want to see any interference or any screw jobs or John Laurinaitis coming out or anything like that. Just a good, clean, back and forth match. So officially pick Alberto Del Rio to win, and let's just say by pinfall. That'll be my prediction for that one. Randy Orton versus Mark Henry for the World Wrestling Entertainment World Heavyweight title. Randy has also held the belt for 34 days because he won it the same night Alberto did. Against Mark Henry, this would be his first heavyweight title. He did have the European belt, which was, here you go, Mark, I don't need this title. Look in the history books. So in this match, I want to see Mark Henry win. As much as Randy Orton looks cool with the belt, more. I almost caught myself. I didn't say it. I didn't say my cliche. I wanted to, but I stopped myself. It'd be a great step up. Give him maybe a 1 month, month and a half run, Big step up for Mark. Orton's had his turn. Let someone else have a chance. For the Intercontinental Championship, Cody Rhodes against Ted DiBiase Jr. Cody's held the belt 39 days. He's had a good little run. Ted DiBiase, of course, is a 2-time tag team champ. So this would be his first singles title. I'm going to say that... this is a tough one. Give it to DiBiase. I think he deserves it. I mean, walking around with the $1 million belt, which is basically a prop, doesn't mean anything. But Cody's had a good little run, He needs to take the mask off permanently. That whole dark side gimmick, or whatever you want to call it, walking around like a Sith Lord without a lightsaber, is kind of dumb. The bags over the heads is really it had its fun time in the beginning, but Cody had a good run, but I say give Ted DiBiase a chance. For the U.S. title, a fatal 4-way match: Dolph Ziggler, John Morrison, Jack Swagger, and A-Rai Alex Riley. Dolph has held the belt 3 months, 90 days. look for a title change in this match. I want to say John Morrison comes out on top. A-Rai, you know, even though you were in the Miz's shadow for a good year, you know, this would be good too, but not quite. Maybe give him a belt at the Rumble. Don't let him win the Rumble, but let him participate in the Rumble better than last year. Jack Swagger, who was, of course, World Heavyweight Champion for less than a sneeze, and, of course, the ECW Championship. Does he need a belt? No, not right now. Although the All-American U.S. title would be good. But, no, he doesn't need a belt just yet. And like I said, Dolph's had it 90 days. That's a good long run, so look for a title reign there, a title change there. Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne against Miz and R-Truth. Airborne has had the belt for only 26 days. They can hold it a little bit longer. So I'm picking. Be quiet! I'm talking. My show. Prediction. Special. Shh. Thank you. Kofi Kingston, Airborne. Airboom, excuse me. Hold the belt for a little bit longer. If Miz and Truth pull this off, this would be Miz's 5th title run, which would be pretty cool. R-Truth has only had a U.S. title for 3 weeks. Yes, I'm getting the Miz would be the 5-time tag team champion.
And I'm giving you the Booker T facepalm.
Double A, I'm trying to ask nice. Be quiet!
That's not asking nicely, Stat Boy. You didn't say peas.
That goes double for you.
You didn't say peas.
I don't care. The Divas title. Kelly versus Beth Phoenix. Kelly, you've held the belt for 89 days. It's time for a definite change. They're in Buffalo. They're in New York. If you don't know where Buffalo is. Beth Phoenix is from New York. She's had the women's belt 3 times. Let's throw the Divas belt in there and finally get some credibility to the Divas belt.
And the Bills are going to win tomorrow because Beth's going to win.
The Bills are going to win tomorrow?
Sure.
You picked that?
I don't know what I picked, to be honest with you.
I actually did see somebody with a Bills shirt today.
Go Bills.
So, go Bills. So, right now, let's see. I'm picking...
She's not playing anymore.
I'm just saying, OJ ain't playing anymore, so...
So far I'm picking 2 retains and 4 title changes. And then finally the big one, which should be the main event, honestly.
No.
Triple H versus CM Punk. There is some news floating around in internet land that Kevin Nash is going to appear. It is a rumor. I cannot confirm nor deny this rumor. So, if Nash decides to show up, what side is he going to pick? Is he going to kick Triple H in the face or whatever, or powerbomb him through the mat? And yes. Triple H... Can I finish my statements?
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Thank you. I'm not finished yet, but please. And will Triple H give up the COO position? If he does that, then he needs to come back to wrestling full time. This whole I'm in a suit doesn't work. Like I say, they've already thrown Textgate at us. We need to move past that. And like I say, the whole thing on Raw with, you know, this isn't CM Punk kicking Triple H's ass. This is Phil Brooks kicking Paul Levesque's ass. That was pipe bomb gold. That was an explosion waiting to happen. And of course, conveniently, the microphones shut off. Gosh, I wonder who pulled the plug. Vince. I even heard a rumor that Vince might be coming back. So if Triple H loses because of Kevin Nash or because Punk literally kicked his ass, don't be surprised if Vinnie Mac shows up tomorrow saying, well, guess what there, son-in-law? Comes walking down the ring like this, you know. No chance. The board of directors has given me back my power. So, Triple H, as the COO, you're fired. But we're going to keep your contract because the fans love you or whatever. So, and then where Punk is going to go, who knows? If it all stays the same, Punk might I don't think he would chase after Del Rio. There is also a rumor that the Great One and Cena are going to team up at Survivor Series. Won't that be a pipe bomb ready to happen? Because Cena and Rock don't like each other, so how are they going to coexist on that? Heck, okay, let's put the team. Let's see. If you really want the big name people, put Cena, Punk, Trips, and Rock together against Miz, Del Rio, Truth.
A-Ray's a face, dude.
Double A, shut the fuck up. Damn it, that's annoying. And we need one more heel. One more heel. Let's bring in Dolph. There's your Survivor Series matchup right there. Alright? So, tomorrow, Night of Champions, 5 o'clock, pay-per-view. Watch it. My predictions and this show is Statboy approved, and Statboy is out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 6 of Dad's on Wrestling. I am your host, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, and joining me one more time after all the reviews that we received the last time is none other than the Lady Killer, Ray Larkin.
But you know what it is, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Now, I want to, right off the gate, Ray, I want to apologize for any background noise that you may pick up on this particular episode of Dad's on Wrestling, because that's the small price you pay when you're broadcasting live at the Honda Center for Monday Night Raw. let's get into this week's worth of wrestling. Ray, talk a little bit about what happened on Raw and SmackDown. Give us a little bit of backstory, your thoughts of what went down this week in professional wrestling.
Awesome, man. Well, first of all, on Raw, I'm finally glad that WWE is doing storylines. It's amazing, isn't it?
I know. All these freaking people they've got writing shit on paper, and they finally made something work for them.
CM Punk and Randy Orton feuding based on a storyline. I mean, this is just awesome. That's why we're wearing our gear today, because we're just so happy that they actually put together a storyline. 2008 Unforgiven, Randy Orton and the Legacy attacking CM Punk, and now CM Punk bringing the new Nexus together and getting some revenge on Randy Orton. I love it. I hope it's WrestleMania 27. That's a big match I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I totally agree. Last year, CM Punk stole the show at WrestleMania when he fought Rey Mysterio. And this year, if he goes one-on-one with Randy Orton, that's just another notch in his belt, another step on the ladder, if you will, for CM Punk. Awesome talent going places in the future, in my opinion.
Raw was good, but the main thing that got me on SmackDown is that Edge, my favorite wrestler, the rated R superstar, retained his title over Dolph Ziggler, one guy who's clearly not on his level, and he proved that with Vicky Guerrero as the special guest referee.
But what's going to happen with that? Because Vicky Guerrero was outside the ring and clearly saw Edge deliver the banned spear.
But for all of you Backer fans, it took one man, Clay Matthews, to come in and make the 1, 2, 3 for Edge. Now I know I'm saying this with our cameraman being a big Detroit Lions fan, but the Green Bay Packers helped Edge. Oh, no, don't go, come back. But the Green Bay Packers helping Edge. Now, as a big Jet fan, I'm going to have to say this. I'm not too fond on the Packers because they beat us this year.
Hey.
But Clay Matthews helping Edge, big ups to the Green Bay Packers.
You know, it's always good when WWE can get some mainstream media attention for something. And like them or not, the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl champions are just bringing a little bit more public media attention to the WWE. I've heard all around the internet, and I know you as a stockholder confirmed this with me earlier, title belt sales have jumped through the roof because Aaron Rodgers had a World Heavyweight title on his shoulder.
At the Super Bowl, that was awesome.
You know, call it what you want. Mainstream media attention is something WWE desperately needs right now.
Desperately. And when asked on the corporate call, who's going to be the next John Cena? Well, it came from Vince McMahon's mouth, Alberto Del Rio.
The Miz, because he's what, folks? Awesome!
And last but surely not least, Randy Orton, the man who has a 10-year deal with WWE.
But then again, he's kind of been the face of WWE since 2004, just not as prominent of a face as Cena and Batista were at the time.
Before we head on to the next segment, do you like Randy Orton now?
Always been a fan of Randy Orton. Lady Killer going back to 2002 with his little Midwestern farmer haircut fighting Hardcore Holly in his debut match.
No, I was liking him when he was limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling and dealing with the Nature Boy.
What about the RNN News Network?
Oh, no.
My elbow is 85% healed. Oh crap, I hit a door. It's 83% healed.
No.
There's a slight relapse in my shoulder surgery.
I'm going to give you RKO, man. Rated RKO, and that was about it.
All right, Ed, shit, come on.
All right, let's go on to the next segment.
TNA Impact. I am loving what they are doing with this fortune face turn. Robert Roode said what I've been wanting somebody to say for years about how the new savior, the new face of TNA, the overpaid, washed-up has-been, and here's all these guys that have carried the weight of the company on their shoulders for the past 9 years, finally getting their moment in the spotlight, which brings us to the pay-per-view. And one of those washed-up has-beens, saviors of the company, regained the TNA World title. This is a special shout-out to our old friend, X. Jeff Hardy is once again the TNA champion.
Well, that just shows you how well their company is doing.
I heard he was snorting lines of coke as he climbed the ladder to grab the title belt.
And you know
Seriously.
what? one thing that I can't help but notice is that CM Punk's been ranting on YouTube on not CM Punk, I'm sorry. Jeff Hardy has been ranting on YouTube against CM Punk, talking about, oh, caffeine's a drug, motherfucker, and Hurricane Helms. You know what? You guys want to call CM Punk trash? Look at that old mom and pop's diner you guys are talking shit from, and where CM Punk's going to be talking shit from tonight, in front of a sold-out, #1 rated show on cable, Monday Night Raw. And where are you going to be talking shit from, Jeff Hardy? A basement? I mean, shut the fuck up, man. All this is about right now is that you were a drug addict, and now CM Punk has your spot. There's two things you can do about it. Absolutely nothing, and like it, assholes.
You know, I used to be a huge Jeff Hardy fan. I've documented this on other episodes of the program before. I'm still a Jeff Hardy fan, even though I'll talk a little bit of crap about him. But seriously, the dude is facing jail time in a couple weeks, and you put the world strap around him. That doesn't make sense, Dixie. That doesn't make sense, Bischoff. What the hell are you thinking? TNA World Heavyweight Champion gets sentenced to 90 days in prison. Starts jail term today.
Whoa, isn't their next pay-per-view lockdown?
You know what? I can't even think anywhere else to go from that one. This has been another episode of Dads on Wrestling. The Lady Killer, Ray Larkin. The Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams. We'll see you next time.
Black and yellow.